If you've been following Serial at Midnight for a while, you know that I absolutely adore the Ranown cycle. These films were directed by Budd Boetticher. They star Randolph Scott and are textbook examples of what a Western can accomplish. They've got lower budgets, but they've got tight stories. They've got excellent performances, and they're really a testimony to the power of what the right director, the right star, the right producer can accomplish when they put their minds to something. They are some of the best Westerns of the 1950s, some of the best Westerns ever made. So I'm really happy to see the Criterion Collection putting these out on 4K. This is a 4K Blu-ray combo pack. And it's my 5th version on home media for these movies. I have 5 different versions of these on my shelf now. So as soon as I started talking about this, posting pictures on social media and things like that, people immediately started to ask me, is it worth an upgrade? We all thought that the 2018 box set from Indicator was the most legitimate bells and whistles release that these movies were ever going to get. This is long out of print, though you can still get the movies individually, I believe. These are loaded with special features, but here's the thing. Only one of the movies was newly restored, and I believe, for this box set, I believe this was it was a 2K restoration. And then the other 4 films were taken from the HD restorations that already existed. These are all new 4K restorations, and they are a very noticeable upgrade over any previous home media edition. 4K is the closest home media format we have to a direct translation of 35mm film. I'm not going to say it's 1-to-1, but it's the closest we have on home media. That's why sometimes when we talk about 4Ks that are sourced from digital, like newer digital productions, it's not as impressive. It really seems to be made for 35mm. So, no, these movies have never looked better than they look on the Criterion box set. If you're a fan of these movies, you need to get this box set. You're going to want this. But it does become a more nuanced conversation when we're talking about the special features. This is where it gets tricky, because you said, well, of course, this is the way to go. Well, this has some extras that aren't included on the Indicator box set, and the Indicator box set has some extras that aren't included on the Criterion box set. And they're not just small extras, it's substantial stuff. This includes the full-length documentary about Budd Boetticher, I believe it's from 2005, and they talk to Quentin Tarantino. Clint Eastwood is in the documentary talking about these films. Of course, Martin Scorsese has been championing these movies for years, and his introductions are carried over. It's on both of these releases. Taylor Hackford's contributions to the Ranown history that's on both releases as well. But there are some things that are here that you do want. Some really in-depth. There's a look at Randolph Scott with a focus on the Ranown cycle that runs, I think, 25 minutes. There's a lot of stuff with Budd Boetticher. There's a little bit of overlap between both of these box sets, but there's actually a lot that doesn't overlap. So, I mean, as a fan of these movies, I'm glad I have both. I'm keeping both. But this Criterion Collection it's really wonderful. I'm looking for maybe a table of contents. I'm still just going through the each film has its own page with the cast and all that stuff. But like, I love reading about film. I love learning more about the behind the scenes aspect of these. Criterion always has excellent special features. Here's what we're dealing with as far as packaging: 4K Blu-ray, 4K Blu-ray, 4K Blu-ray. And this Blu-ray is the special features disc. By the way, look at how great this is. This packaging is great. Sometimes when it comes to box sets, we get tricky packaging, we get clever packaging. This is what fans want. I don't want to speak for everybody, but there's enough, the tens of thousands of people that follow Serial at Midnight have spoken. They want something that looks like this on their shelf. They don't want something that's big and ostentatious and doesn't fit well. They want something that fits perfectly on their shelf. And this fits the bill, and I'm really grateful for it. So the extras, you know what? I should at least hold this up. Well, I don't want to get into all of this, but I'll hold this up, and you guys can freeze that, and you can read that. Really great stuff. The documentary, the interviews, the essays, the analysis of Budd Boetticher and Randolph Scott. Focus on Randolph Scott, too, which is great. But again, I'm going to say it one more time. There's a lot of stuff on the Indicator box set that's not in this Criterion Collection set. If you don't have the indicator set and you're like, well, I'm just coming from DVDs, or you don't own the movies at all, there is no question whatsoever. Really, there's no question at all. If you do care about these movies, or if you're curious about these movies, you're going to want to pick this box set up. I am so happy that just in my time talking about movies here at Serial at Midnight over the last 6 years, I have seen such a renewed interest in Westerns, and I love it. It makes me so happy. These movies are special to me. I'm going to show you something. I don't know if I've ever shown this in a main channel video. A viewer, Ferris, if you're out there still, thank you. Ferris sent me Budd Boetticher's autograph. He had this in his private collection. I believe he told me he had 2 and he wanted to give one of them to a fan that would really appreciate it and cherish it. And I was that fan, and I am so grateful for this. This lives with these movies. And these films are special. And I realize also that I run the risk of praising them to the point that I make them unapproachable for you. So I'm trying really hard to pull back on that and to not do that. But for me personally, my heart is in the Bs. It's in the B movies. It's in movies that have lower budgets, that don't have huge expectations, don't have unlimited resources, movies that have limits. And those limits force improvisation. It forces ways to work around problems. It basically forces better storytelling. And I really appreciate what these movies do with as little as they have. And I'm talking about great performances. I'm talking about morality that's working. See, these movies are shattering that black hat, white hat cliche, those archetypes. We're in the 50s now. The influence of noir on these movies, where you have good guys that do things that are perhaps questionable, bad guys that have understandable motivations. The 50s is the golden age of the Western for a good reason, because there's so much happening after World War II as humanity is really wrestling with the things that they've seen, that they've done. They've looked into the face of darkness. They've looked within, and they've seen who they really are. And that all shows up in their movies. But because you can't just say anything you want to say in a 1950s movie, it comes out in other ways. And that's really, really interesting. And these remain, I'm telling you, textbook examples of what lower budget films can do with the right director, the right star, the right producer, the right conditions, the right shooting location. I love them so much. I call them the Ranown cycle. It's the Ranown Westerns. Again, this is not complete. Go check out 7 Men From Now, which is also part of this, but it's from a different company, so it's not here. 7 Men From Now is on DVD, and this is, as I'm recording this video, this is half off right now through Barnes & Noble. Amazon is price matching. I'll put a link in the description of this video. I can't speak highly about these enough. They look better than they've ever looked before. They have great extras, and they need to be seen. So I'm so excited that these now exist on 4K, and I cannot wait to spend years in the future watching these pristine prints. That's it. I can't speak more highly about them. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate you. Take care. Till next time, I will catch you later.